All right, guys, we're gonna get started here. How did it go with the math with Aubrey? You guys did trig? Yes, no?
Yeah, we did.
And online students, can you hear me? Okay. All right, good. I hope you've done your homework. So if you've done your homework, raise your hands here. So all of you have done the homework. If you're online, just do a thumbs up if you've done the homework. 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 3 students missing still. 5 now. 6 now. Nora, have you done the homework? Maybe she can't hear us. All right. So today is the 4th class, right? Last week we did science. The week before we did math, right? So could you please go to those notes, please? When we did the straight lines and the polygons, go to those notes. So we did straight lines and polygons. Do you guys remember that? Now open page 14 of the math packet. Page 14 of the math packet. All right, so we were on this one, right? Interior angles and the exterior angles. That's what we were. So we're going to continue with that portion, okay? So the first question today is find the interior and the exterior angle of a heptagon. So this is your interior angle and this is your exterior angle. Now, the biggest problem with this topic is not the problem difficulty, but it's actually knowing the formula. People forget the formula, and once they forget the formula, they're gonna have a difficulty doing this problem. So heptagon is 7-sided polygon. It's always going to be a convex regular polygon in the ACT. And if you have an answer, say your name if you're online. If you're here, just raise your hand. So.
Nisha. Lexi.
What do you guys get for interior angle? What's the answer?
128.57.
So 128.57. So let's round it up to 6. So, right? 128.6 degrees. Exterior angle, 360 degrees divided by number of sides, which is 7. What do you guys got?
51.4.
51.4. And they add up to 180 degrees. So if you have a convex regular polygon, the sum of the interior and the exterior always adds up to 180. because you can see it's a straight line here. Make sense? That's good? How many diagonals it has? Total number of diagonals, D. Again, remember, you got to know the formula in the real test. That's the hard part. Right? Because once the formula is given, that's easy. But you won't be given the formula in the ACT. I can guarantee that portion. You guys good? So what are the three formulas you have to know? Interior, exterior, and the number of diagonals. You got to know these three formulas. If you don't, it doesn't matter how smart you are, you're gonna have a tough time. All right, second problem. This was actually in ACT question number 44, and the problem was find X, and this is how the problem was actually stated. And as usual, when you have an answer, either tell me your name or raise your hands here. Okay, go. This is exactly question number 44. So it's a tier 3 level question. One. Two.
Nisha.
3.
Kira. Lexi.
How many are confident their answer is correct? 1. 2. 3. Look, what's your answer?
225.
Does anybody else have 225? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, wow. Okay. All right. Let's see. If I extend this line like this, right? This itself is 180. Am I right? Right? If this is 180, this angle has to be more than 180, right? Look at the answer choices they gave in the ACT. 45, 90, 135, 180, 225. If you know this logic, you didn't have to know anything else. You could just say 225. So, really good that many got this correct. Probably the first time in a long time. This is my exterior angle. Do you guys agree? This is my exterior angle, which we just did, right? The exterior angle here, which is this one. So, x is equal to 180 degrees plus the exterior angle. Am I right? That's a logic. That's a logic. So E is 180, 360 divided by 8, which is 45. So it's 225 degrees. Make sense? Anybody question on this one? There is another way to do this problem, by the way, okay? What I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna find this angle. What is this angle called?
Interior.
Interior angle. So I is equal to 8 minus 2 times 180 divided by 8. Somebody tell me what it is.
135.
135 degrees. If this is 135, this is the entire circle here, right? Which is 360. So x is equal to 360 minus 135, which is 225. Right? Many people do this method more than this. Any questions? Last call. Remember, keeping quiet is not a skill. Anybody can do that. Asking good question is a skill at the right time. So I'm just reminding you guys, it's easy to sit there. It's tough to ask good questions. So it has to make an impact. So just don't physically be there. Make sure you ask questions. If you're learning well, great. If you're not, ask questions. Moving on, page 15 of the math packet. We're gonna go to difference of squares. Difference of squares. A squared minus b squared is equal to a plus b times a minus b. Now, raise your hands if you know this formula, or do the thumbs up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is one of the most important equation algebra. This is one equation you will definitely carry to the college. So if you go in this direction, there is a term in math. What is this term they use from this direction to this direction? What is this called? I'm gonna give a hint. It starts with F. This is called factorization. So if I take a squared minus b squared, and if I factor it, I get a plus b and a minus b, two factors. What is the term in the opposite direction? What's opposite to factorization? This is basic mathematics, okay? What's opposite to factorization? And that starts with F2. FOIL, or distribution. So if I distribute this, I get this. If I factorize, I get this. Make sense? These are the terms you have to know. So factorization and distribution are opposite operations in mathematics. First problem, factorize or simplify. Factorize x squared minus 64. This will be the first 10 questions usually. It's difference of squares, perfect squares. Tell me the answer.
X plus 8, x minus 8.
Right? I'm assuming you're following this, by the way. I really do. If you're not, if I shouldn't, you should tell me that. Good? Second, factorize. Eight x squared minus 200. Again, tell me your name or raise your hand so I'll keep having an idea. 1, 2,
Kira.
3,
Caroline.
4, 5, 6. Okay. All right, how many are confident? All right, what's your answer?
8 times x plus 5 times x minus 5.
That's right. So this is a good example where individual term is not a perfect square, right? 200 is not a perfect square. 8x squared is not a perfect square. But if you factorize 8 out, you get x squared minus 25. Am I right? You're converting a not perfect system to a perfect system. 8 times x plus 5 times x minus 5. Make sense? This is an important one. I've seen this. This is usually in first, maybe around 25-ish type of question. This is in the first 10. Question number 3. Factorize x squared plus 64. X squared plus 64. Nisha, what's your answer? Nisha, can you hear me? Maybe not. Anybody who's confident? Yeah?
X plus 8 times x plus 8. Wait, I know what it is.
Go ahead.
Is it x minus 8 times x minus 8?
Nope. That's what I was expecting that, but anybody? All right. This is actually in question number 8 in ACT math. Okay. This is difference of squares, right? This is not difference of squares. Okay. So, what is the term they use in math when you cannot factorize a number? So the answer was written as prime. There are two numbers, right? Prime and composite numbers. So an unfactorizable number is called a prime number. So that's what they wrote in the answer. So you need to be careful that it should be difference of squares. Make sense? You guys good? Very important to keep. So when I can factorize, that means those are composite numbers. When I cannot factorize, they are the prime numbers. Next, factorize x raised to 6 minus y raised to 8. This is a tier 2, tier 3 level question. It's okay to make a mistake. It's okay. But you got to practice it so it doesn't happen next time. Anybody?
Would it be z to the third minus y to the fourth times z to the third plus y to the fourth?
That's correct. Okay, let's try
Sorry, my computer has, like connection issues, so it's like hard to hear, but
All right. Can you hear me now?
yeah, I can.
Okay. For online students, I always recommend using headphones and use a laptop or an iPad to zoom in instead of the phone itself. AirPods are not, those earpods, the AirPods are not the good way because you won't hear it well. Headphones are very helpful. Okay. Listen to this problem. Open page 10 of the math packet as well. This is an important problem. There is a formula on page 10. A raised to m raised to n is a raised to m times n. Do you see that formula? Right? Do you see that one on page 10? I hope so. Yes or no?
Yep.
Okay. So that's a very helpful formula. I'm going to use it here. Listen up. So when we talk about difference of squares, the term here is 2. That's important. So I can write x raised to 6 as x raised to 3 raised to 2. 3 times 2 is 6. That's what I have 6. And I got the 2 outside because I want difference of squares. Make sense? This is my a squared minus b squared. A plus b, a minus b. Make sense? The key thing is to get the 2 outside, not any other number if you want to use that formula. Right now. All these questions have been in ACT as is. Okay. question number 5. Factorize a raised to 16 minus 16. This was question number 60 in ACT.
Nisha.
Caroline. Lexi. Kira.
How many are confident your answer is correct? Luke, what's your answer?
8 to the 8 plus 4, 8 to the 8 minus 4.
A raised to 8 plus 4 times a raised to 8 minus 4. How many have that answer? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's not correct. Anybody else has any a different answer? I told you it's problem number 60, the last question. And I told you usually the last question is a difficult one. Yeah.
2 a to the 4th plus 2 times 2 a to the 4th minus 2.
Nope. It's okay. It's okay to be wrong, but you guys are trying. That's most important. Remember, to get a perfect 36 in math, it's not going to be easy. They're not going to make your life easy. They're going to make it harder. So that's why I gave the hint as 60. All right, listen up. If it was that easy, they would have given it maybe in question number 30. Okay. All right, listen up. So a raised to 8 raised to 2. So you got that right. A raised to 16 minus 4 squared. Right? A squared minus b squared. A plus b times a minus b. Right? That's what you guys had to do, right? Here's what happened. A raised to 8 plus 4. This is still a perfect square. That's your answer. Oh my God, right? You want to get a 36? Watch out. It's not going to be easy. I knew that you guys would get to this point. But are you observing is the question. Funniest thing is, look, I'll tell you this. The first answer choice was this. And everybody answered this. When you factorize to the lowest terms. Does this make sense? Because this is the difference of squares problem, basically. I would like everybody to repeat this. Do it 2 times. I want you to do it 2 times. Because you got to know your basics. Otherwise, you're gonna make mistakes again. Online students, do you have any questions? Okay. Well, I've not asked you this question. Maybe I should have asked this before, but so far, and this is here for you guys as well, by the way, for you, for face to face and online. So far, has this class, the ACT classes, have been helpful for you guys?
Yes.
Online students?
Yeah.
Okay. I really hope that,
Yes.
because our goal is not to just do a bare minimum job. We want to make a significant impact on your learning. So, if we are not doing that, you need to tell us that, okay? Otherwise, there's no point. We're going to move on to the next topic, number line, which is on page 15. We're going to still stay on page 15. Pretty sure you've seen this, right? Number lines, right? Let's see how good you are in the basics. So we're going to be doing a lot of questions, boom, 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 boom now, okay? So you're going to be a little attentive. Ready? First, draw a number line, x is equal to 3. You won't see this question in the ACT, by the way, it's too simple. You guys done number line, right? Don't tell me you didn't do it. You guys have done that, right? Number line. So this is, right? This is number line, right? Simple. Don't make it anything more than this, right? At x equal to 3. Next. Number line, absolute of x is equal to 3. It's a number line for this. And you guys know absolute, right? So what does absolute function teaches you? Anybody? Yes.
Just the distance from 0 in either direction.
It measures distance, period, right? It measures distance. Distance is always,
Positive.
distance is always positive. Distance is always positive. But when I remove the absolute sign, then you can have plus 3 or minus 3. Make sense? Distance is 3. That's called absolute. Next. Absolute of x is equal to negative 3. Draw a number line. Answers. Yeah,
No solution.
no solution. Because absolute cannot be a
Negative.
negative. I don't know what they teach in school. I think something like that they teach. So, whatever. I think this is how they teach, I believe. Something like that. Basically, absolute cannot be negative. Next. absolute of x is greater than 3. I'm going a little fast in this because it's pretty easy. Okay. Okay. So this is when you have to be a little attentive, okay? So when you have an inequality greater than or less than, you gotta be a little careful. So when you have a greater than inequality, like this one, this is called a OR function, OR function. What this means is x can be greater than 3 or x can be less than negative 3. Why? Because if I put the absolute of that one, it will still be negative more than 3. Because the absolute of negative 4 is 4. 4 is still greater than 3. So the number line looks something like this. 3, negative 3. And it's a hollow circle because it's not equal to. Why this arrow what is this arrow indicating? That means there can be any solution below 3, any solution above 3, but not equal to 3. So when do you get an OR function? When you have a greater than functionality. This or this. You can put value from this or this. Make sense? 5. Absolute of x is less than or equal to 3. So greater is called a OR function. A less than is called an AND function. Okay? So when you have less than or equal to, it is bound by 2 points. Negative 3 less than or equal to x less than or equal to 3. That means the value of the x that satisfies the equation is bound by those two extreme points because it has to be less than or equal to 3. So your number line looks like this: 0, negative 3, positive 3, and it's make sense? And you can, the one word I would always tell people with inequalities is this word: test. You got to test your solution. What does it mean? You take a random values and make sure it works out actually. So for example, if I take 0, which is in the solution, absolute of 0 is 0. Is 0 less than 3? Yes, so this works. So take some examples, whether it's in school or in ACT, you got to test your solution for inequalities. Don't make that mistake. Just because you have an answer doesn't mean it's a correct answer, called pseudo solutions. You're going to hear this word in math. Pseudo solutions, false solutions. Make sense? Question number 6. How many have an answer? Online? How many are confident they're right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So, when you saw absolute of x is -3, there is no solution. Here, that's not the case, right? Because -4 has still to be taken care of. So +4 plus 4, absolute of x is equal to 1. Now you should be able to decide whether it's going to have a solution or not, okay? So by its own term, you can decide. So it'll be 1 and -1. Make sense? So don't make a conclusion here. Get to this point and then make a conclusion. So solve for x. What's the first step?
Distribute the 4.
No. Stop doing, that's the high schools, they teach that. Never do that. The best is to divide by 4. Anything outside of the absolute, deal with it first. So the absolute of 2x minus 1 is equal to 4. See? It's you don't have to deal with anything else, basically. Now you have 2x minus 1 is equal to 4, or 2x minus 1 is equal to -4. Make sense? Keyword is or. This or this will keep the equation happy. Okay? And I always tell you is to test. So when I put 2.5 here, 2.5 times 2 is 5. 5 minus 1, 4. Absolute of 4, 4. 4 times 4, 16. Same with negative 3 halves. So 2 times negative 3 half is negative 1. So negative 3. Negative 3 minus 1 is negative 4. Absolute of negative 4 is 4. 4 times 4 is 16. So both these solutions work. Okay, both these solutions work. So that's something you need to be very cognizant when you write these things. Make sense? Any questions? I'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye. Take care.